Operation Ruthless. In this episode, there is a cheese fair, of all things, being held in Arnold's area, and he finds out that his crush, Ruth, is going to be there. So he decides this is the perfect time to let her know he exists. But Helga, of course, finds out and is jealous because she doesn't want anyone loving Arnold except her. So she decides to sabotage all of Arnold's attempts. In the end, Helga basically succeeds in that Arnold's alone, but Arnold's not deterred because he's like, the chase is half the fun. And but at the same time, Helga also loses because she's not with Arnold. I'll talk a bit more about that later. Sorry, I just remembered something. I'm jotting it down. So yeah, as you can guess, I'm sitting down and doing a vlog on this episode, and that's because I really, really liked it, and I have a lot I want to say about it, and I want to give it its due, and I figure, it's a nice day outside, I have some time, so why not? So, what do I love about this episode? So for one, again, it's like what the show does best. It has that simple setting of we're just going to take a small slice of life and a completely relatable conflict, and we're going to just explore it to its full potential. And that's what we do here. I remember when I was in college, there was this fair that happened in my area all the time. And I go to it. And there's a lot of atmosphere. You got your funhouse mirror, your food, your tunnel of love, and all of it's really well realized. And the whole crush thing is just really relatable. We all had that one crush when we were younger. It's like we'd be comfortable talking to everyone except our crush. Our crush was like, hi. Who knows? I still remember high school prom. Just had so much time working up the nerve to ask someone to prom. Pacing back and forth, it's like, memories. Okay, I'm going to shut up about reminiscing about high school because we're talking about Hey Arnold, but I'm just going to say this. Remember when that was the day back when just saying hello to your crush was the big milestone? And actually, now that I think about it, did Star vs. the Force of Evil take inspiration from this? Because there's an episode of Star vs. the Force of Evil. Well, Mark, the main character, has a crush on this girl, Jackie, but he can never say hi to her. All he can do is just nod at her, and he's never able to progress past that. And then part of the episode is him working up the nerve to do that. Anyway, I digress. So, of course, I'm going to love this episode because it focuses on one of the best characters in Hey Arnold, Helga. And her efforts to sabotage Arnold's love range from, believable to, only in a cartoon could something like this happen. Most notably when they're in the bumper cars and Helga gets in the fast car, and then she and Phoebe go flying out, and they're somehow okay with the exception of Helga having a neck brace. And then there is the blind tunnel of love, which, are those real? I know tunnels of love are real, but the concept of a blind one I've never heard of before. And I love how Arnold does the classic thing of how he tries to time it so he gets partnered with his crush. Because there's a fence dividing them, but you can kind of see the entrance to the line. And it's that classic thing from when you're little, when you get paired up and you'd be in lines and you try to position yourself just right so the person you like would be your crush, would be your partner. And of course, Arnold and Helga keep peeking over the fence. Arnold to make sure he's with his crush, but also just avoid Helga. And Helga's, of course, tried to be with Arnold, so she crosses the line, which honestly, it doesn't really matter that much. Helga just makes sure Arnold doesn't wind up with his crush. But I love how the instant Arnold and Helga start doing it, everyone else starts doing it, and then eventually it just becomes, it's like this domino effect, like, then this person starts doing it, then this person starts doing it. Then they all start doing it, and then they're, like, scrambling over each other, the fence collapses, and then you, like, cut to the shot above where there's all these tiny little people running around, and then they're all trying to scramble into the boat. It's just so chaotic, and it's just so relatable. I love it. And what's also interesting is the kid who gets in the boat is that kid with the glasses who never talks. I'm really curious if he's ever going to talk, if he's ever going to get lines, or if he's just going to be that background character that people would write fan fiction about. Because in that case, it's kind of like My Little Pony. In MLP, there's a bunch of little ponies in the background who never get any lines. Like, there's this cross-eyed one that everyone likes called Derpy. There's this one guy with an hourglass called Dr. Hooves, and fun fact, none of the fans gave these people names. Like, these aren't official names, these are names that the fans sort of gave them, because the show really didn't do much with them out initially, except out of, we need some background ponies, so let's design some, and then the fans sort of gave them a name in life, and the creators just sort of said, okay, that's the name. So I'm really curious if the show's ever going to do anything with those nameless background characters. Like, because there's this one person who comments on all my videos and is probably going to be watching this right now, but their avatar is one of the background characters in all, and I'm really curious if they're ever going to do anything with them, or if it's just going to live on in fan fiction. And if they don't, I'm really curious if the Jungle movie's going to do anything with this, because, you know, the internet's risen, like, when Arnold came out, it was the 90s, and the internet was around, but it wasn't, like, insane as it was today. Like, there weren't people vlogging online, message boards weren't as big. Like, now it's everywhere. So the creator of the show, Craig Bartlett, by now he's probably aware from online reactions online, interviews at conventions, that people are somewhat interested and curious about those background characters, and I'm curious if the Jungle movie's going to do anything with that, or if they're just going to focus on it in the show. But I digress. Let's get back to the episode. So, one notable thing about this episode is that Gerald and Phoebe wind up getting together. Like, they get paired on the Tunnel of Love. They share a chat, fall in love, and they walk away and hold hands. And it was a sweet moment. Like, and I know I've criticized Gerald on these vlogs in the past, but I thought he was pretty likable here. Like, you know, most of the advice he was giving Arnold was realistic advice, and he was kind of the straight guy, where Arnold's kind of the shy, timid guy, which was an interesting side to see to Arnold. And a sweet side to see to Gerald. And I think it also just speaks how sometimes you'll find your significant other or crush just by not looking. Which is how I found my girlfriend, in case anyone's curious. And yeah, I'm curious if the show's going to do anything with that later on, or if this is just a one-time thing, a one-time hookup that they're never going to address again. I'm going to assume the latter, just because this show came out in the 90s, and kid shows back then weren't as serialized as they are now. Like, not saying there aren't serialized, not saying there isn't continuity, but compared to now, with shows like Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Star, where character growth does carry over, like, I wouldn't be surprised if things revert back to the status quo. Or the show could surprise me and have it continue. But it's very interesting that Phoebe and Gerald end up together, because it does sort of have this interesting contrast between Arnold and Helga, where they're both sort of alone at the end. It's like they're both alone, they don't have their significant other, and the one they worked off of, their sidekick, their friend, didn't actually found someone, and it's funny that both characters' sidekicks sort of ended up with each other. Sorry if I'm calling Gerald and Phoebe sidekicks. I'm trying to think. Anything else? The line about Arnold wanting Ruth even more, I think that's very true. Sometimes we really want... Sometimes it's like there's something we want, and when we get it, it's not as exciting as when we have it. Like, I'll want a comic or a video game or a TV show, and I'll be hyping up, and that comes out, I'm like, I'm bored, move on. And I'm not saying And it's the same way with relationships. Like, not so much like now, but like when you're in middle school. Like, most of the time when you have a relationship in middle school, it's, from what I remember, it's like people get together, it would be like a week or two, maybe a month, and then they break up. So when I was little, I never really envied relationships as much as I wanted. Had my crushes and wanted them. Like, you know what? It probably would just be more chaotic and nightmarish, and plus would be very short. And whenever someone gets together, I'm like, actually, I'm not going to say that. That's way too cynical, but there's something to be said. Like, there are, like, each relationship status, single or together, they all have their perks, they all have their downfalls. Being in a relationship is wonderful and amazing. But the thing is that when I was young, like back when I was single, I always thought, I'm going to enjoy being single now. Not because I don't think relationships will be wonderful, which they are, but I'm going to be single in a relationship. I'm going to spend more years in a relationship than I will be single. So I'm just going to enjoy being single for now. Enjoy all the things that come with being single, and then make the most of it. And when I meet someone, I'll meet someone, and then I met someone, and it's wonderful, and it's happy, and it's a lot of giving and receiving. And it's, again, I'm going to stop talking about that because I'm kind of getting sidetracked. I will say that when Phoebe and Gerald ended up together, I find that's a very relatable moment, because we all have those moments where our friends or someone we're really acquainted with is in a relationship, and we're like, what are you doing that I'm not doing? How is this happening? And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm jealous. And again, I just found that to be a very relatable moment. Let's see. So that's all I have to say. I am curious if the show's ever going to bring Helga and Arnold's relationship to a head. I know from the trailers that the Hey Arnold movie touches on that, but I'll probably look at that more when I get closer. But before I go, there's like one thing I want to address, and that's, when Helga says the women's bathroom is by the wiener stand, I'm like, was that supposed to be a joke or adult joke, or was that just an accident? But that's all I have to say. So before I go, I just have a quick question. It's not about relationships, but it's about carnivals. Are you a carnival person? Do you like carnivals? Did they have a tunnel of love at your carnival? Did they have the fence like at this carnival? Comment and let me know. And if I come across any other episodes that inspired me before the Christmas one, I'll be sure to talk about that. But if not, I'll just sort of plow through these. So until next time, take care.